get this started. Welcome to the very first Friday stream. It's a bit earlier than I'm used to streaming, so I just got the cats their dinner, or lunch, and I'm gonna play some Diablo today. Diablo is my favorite clicky game, the one where, you know, you can just don't have to think a lot. You can just run through everything, kill a lot of monsters, get some XP, score some gear, and try to do as much damage as possible, because that's basically how you win Diablo. Not that you're really going to win Diablo, but it's better than Solitaire. Well, I love Solitaire, but Diablo is still better. Hi Welshi and Zazu. I'm gonna start by showing you here this. Thank you for the host, Zazu. And sorry if my stomach is complaining. I'm having some allergy issues this last week, so that sometimes leads to a noisy stomach and a lot of other weird stuff. But we'll get through it anyway, as long as it's only making noise. Hi Dark Winter Dreams, and thank you for the host, Welshi. So, this is Diablo Reaper of Souls, and what I'm... Oh, thank you for the host, Dark Winter Dreams, and thank you for the auto-host from Eric Brand and Ral. I do appreciate that. I love when the auto-host function works. So this is Diablo. This is my current seasonal character, and if you don't know what seasonal is, there is like, if we go in here and look at the heroes, everyone that has this green little leaf is a seasonal. When Diablo 3 started out, it didn't have seasons the way it does now. It was just, you played the storyline and you aimed at getting to level 60. Since then there's been some expansions, so that means that in the current expansion, Reaper of Souls, you can get to level 70, and above level 70 you get something called Paragon levels that helps you level up your character even more with the stats and stuff. All the rest of these, my seasonal character will only exist for this season. When the season is done, it's going to be turned into a normal character. And these are my normal characters. This one with like the tiny skull is my hardcore characters. You can see I have 2 of those, and you might notice that every character on this list is a monk. I have a tendency, when I fall in love with a game, I fall in love with a specific character. And in World of Warcraft, it was the Hunter. I spent most of my time playing Hunter. And in this, it's the Monk. The Monk is a combination of, it's a melee character, so you have to stand in the middle of everything and try not to get killed as you kill everything around you. So let's talk about something else too. You can see over here it says, oh yeah, Witherwax. Witherwax is my original character that I started out playing. And as you might notice, I have a weakness for things that you can put miss in front and get like a funny pun from it. So I've got misbehave, misguided, mistake, mismannered, and misfortune at the moment. Buttercup is my seasonal, and I'm presently playing at Torment 2. So let's select this hero. In here, when you go to game settings, you can see in here that Torment has something to do with the difficulty level. So when I go in here, Torments go all the way up to 13. And Torment levels, they all have extra bonuses depending on what Torment level you're playing on. So the goal is, of course, to get all the way to Torment level 13, which won't happen today. I've been fighting a bit just to get to Torment level 7, because my damage isn't as high as it could be. But again, I'm doing this for fun, not to be like one of the top press. Oh, thank you more, auto-host from Nat and Shaded, and who is rating me? At least I see some people in chat that I haven't seen before. Welcome, welcome. Press start for 2p. Awesome. Welcome to the stream. I'm just talking a little bit about Diablo in general before I start doing my my runs here. So at the moment I'm playing Torment 7 and I'm closing in on going to Torment 8 with my seasonal character. And I am mainly playing the adventure mode because I kind of finished the campaign mode, both the original and to chapter 5. So there is a campaign where you can kind of go through the storyline. And it's great for starting out if you don't really know the game because it's going to take you through a lot of different things. But when you've played it for a while, the adventure game where you go through rifts and bounties is kind of the way to go. At least that's where I'm going to get my equipment. So it's Keith, Charitable Gamers Guy. Oh, hi. So good to see you here. So let's do start game and go in and look at a little more. As you know me, if there's something to talk about, I will be talking. Otherwise, I might be cursing a bit more than I usually do in a stream because, you know, when you're running, when you're running rifts, sometimes it's going to get a little high. Hi, Yanka. So may or may not have failed lurking. Well, you're welcome to lurk as always. Some of the things right now, I'm in chapter 3, I think. Well, it's chapter 3 to 5 actually. You can see this is a waypoint. If I click this, you got all your different acts here. If I zoom out, you can see there's like from Act 1 to Act 5. And if I was running bounties, I would be going for the one with the little chest on top because that would give me extra rewards when I finish running the bounties. But what I really want to do today is run some more rifts. I'm going to do standard rifts. Of course I need to do some greater rifts at some point too, but I'm kind of collecting a lot of rift stones so I can do like a major amount of runs in that too. So, well, so much happening in the stream. Awesome, awesome chat, like an active chat. So, I'm going to go here and I'm going to click the Nephilim obelisk and I'm going to select the standard Nephilim rift here. And accept, and I'm just going to start running. And if you have like any questions about Diablo, if you've never played Diablo yourself, feel free to ask them, but tag me so it'll be clear in chat that you're talking to me. Otherwise, feel free to chat as you usually do. These here are elites. As you can see, talking and playing at the same time is a bit more challenging because I have to kind of look at my skills here and make sure I've got everything up and running. The one that's marked number 2 is like the main skill I'm running with because the armor set I'm using at the moment is pretty much based on Sweeping Wind. That's what gives me this nice little hurricane around me. So, oh, I see Binky started watching. Welcome to Binky as well. So a rift is like an auto-generated instance. It has as many levels as you need, and as you can see there's like a bar in the side that's slowly going to fill up with yellow. One of the reasons I'm playing standard Nephilim Rift while streaming is because if I die, I don't get as much as a time penalty as if I was playing a greater rift, because greater rifts, it's not enough to kill a lot of monsters and fill up this bar. You have to also do it within a certain time, and you get a time penalty every time you die. And if I become distracted by chat in the middle of everything, let's just say I might not get the greater rift done. So Nephilim rifts it is, mainly to get equipment. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this is my favorite clicky game where it's all about doing your best to keep a certain speed when you run through and just do as much damage as possible. Now I don't have to do this at a certain speed, so let's just try looking at what I'm running with here. If you know Diablo, you can see that I don't have all the emeralds I need. This is like the biggest level of emerald. It gives me 280 in dexterity, but so far I've only been able to build up to one of those, which I maybe should have put in my weapon to get some more critical damage. But right now it's just, you know, hoping to get a vault so I can get down, get a lot of gold and a lot of jewelry. So, oh, feel free to lurk, Lianka. I love lurkers. I spend a lot of time lurking myself, as a lot of you know. I love to just go into streams and see what everybody else is doing, hang out a little bit, and then have the stream in the background. That's one of the reasons I'm not a mod anywhere, because mod requires a lot of involvement in what's going on, and I've been really lucky. I've got some really nice mods in my channel, so yay for good mods. Hi Symes, welcome. So I've got a special one here, and he's got some minions with him, and I need to not be standing in too much weird clutter on the ground, because that does damage as well. Let me just kill these, and then we'll go back and look a little bit at the armor again. This is one of the games where you don't really have to, as I said earlier, think a lot. You can basically just run and kill stuff, and the areas where you kind of have to think about it is how you equip your character, because if you just go with random stuff, you're not going to end up with the damage you want, and you're not going to end up with the toughness you want. And when you're a melee like I am, a monk, you need a lot of toughness. As you can see here, I have a lot of toughness right now, and then it goes down again. It all depends on what effects I'm kind of stacking up around me. The red globes is health globes that drop from certain monsters. What I'm running with is mainly the Monkey King's garb, because it has certain pluses that I need. So if I have 2 pieces of the set, if I use my skill that I have put on number 2 here, it's gonna add up, it's gonna take away damage, so I only get 50% damage. So it's pretty important to me that I got that one active while I'm running. Also, when I have 4 pieces of the set, you can see it's gonna spawn a decoy. So if you see like a weird shadowy figure running away from my character, that's the decoy, and that's gonna explode and do 1,000 weapon damage for each stack of sweeping wind, and that it can be up to 3 stacks. And with 6 set pieces, I get extra bonus damage on some of my moves. I'm not using all the moves I can use. I've got my lashing tail kick. That's the one I'm using as my right mouse button click, and my Fist of Thunder is my main. That'll teleport me to a target, and I mainly use Frost. There's like different things you can go in and work with in your skill set, and if you use Frost or Cold as I do, it'll stun and slow the characters you're fighting, which will make sure that you get less damage, and it's easier for me to hit them because I have extra damage if I hit characters that's slowed. So you need to a drawing? Okay, did someone just, oh my god, Dragon Time, yes, that is one of the things. I am gonna get some paper right away. Hope I don't get killed while this is happening. Oh, let's see, where's my paper? I need to draw a dragon because someone just spent their points that you can earn in chat, and that means I have to break off anything I'm doing and draw dragons. And I can see I have more than one. I have 2 dragon times up at the moment. So let's start out here, and let's get the camera down on the paper. There we go. And let me just expand this like that, so you can see what I'm doing. It's going to be upside down for you, because if I switch the camera upside down, that will take some extra time. So let's do a dragon. Let's see. Let's start out here. Nostrils, and the eye is going to be here. As you can see, my character, she just continues throwing out fireballs. That's because I've got a special stone in my headgear from the anniversary. That was not long ago. So let's see there. I like that they have like a beardy tuft down here. And slightly smiling, because most of my dragons are happy. So there we go. Let's try doing this. Oh, there's a kitty. That's one of the risks when I do a dragon. My cat will come by and try to occupy the paper. Get down. Tiny terror. So a little bit of these, because in my universe, dragons, they look a little bit like this. This is definitely a happy dragon. I think perhaps this one is in the water, so let's just do a little bit of this. Oh, let me just get my chat up so I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, he's my tiny terror. I admit that a lot of the body language I use when I draw my dragon is really taken from observing my cats. So let's do like this and say that this dragon here just remember to do the ears as well. It's my evil mods that redeemed. They think it's so good to to do this. So this dragon here, let's make sure it has a wing too, with a tiny little spike up there. Well, you're evil in a good way. I do love my mods. My mods are my friends. A lot of chat is my friends. And if you're new here, well, you might be my friend too. You just never know. I like having a lot of friends around. So, this is a dragon in the water, so let's just make sure we get a little more of the seabed over here. And let's make sure that we have the tail as well, because that's also a part of it. You want like this. I'm gonna end up with like a giant dragon collection, which is totally awesome. So let's just do this and like that. So at any time in my stream, people who have the points for it, the catnip, have earned that. They can make me draw a dragon, or They can make me suggestions. If it is a doodling stream, they can make suggestions for a title, and then I'll do my best to draw something based on that title. So, oh, and my character's still alive. It's a good thing this is not a greater rift, because let's see here. Let's just do a little more of these here. There we go. This is a dragon on its way out of water. I hope that is just somewhat clear. Oh yeah, karaoke, if you really, really want to hear me sing. And I'd say nobody's done that yet, but okay, that was Zazu's dragon. And I got one more dragon time up, so that is Welsh's dragon. So I'm gonna draw one more dragon right away. Put this one in my collection. And let's do one more dragon. Let's try to... Let's do one that's a bit more from the front. Like this. If you're like, oh, those are some really cutesy dragons, well, it's just the style I'm drawing. I wish I could do something... Oh, that didn't look good. I wish I could do like a more hardcore, scary style, but it's just never been what it turns into when I start drawing it. So everybody has like a style that will show itself after you've been working with drawing for a while, and mine is very much like kids' book drawings. So of course I totally admire all the people who can do like the really hardcore looking stuff with evil dragons and that. Mine, they're always gonna look like, I don't know, baby dragons. So let's just make sure we got this. So, this one is for Wilshie. Oh, I need to remember to put names on them. So this one is Zazu. I have one from Eric as well that I did a couple of times ago. That came out pretty well. So even when I'm not doing an art stream, if people are like in the mood for drawings, they have the option of spending their catnip and yeah, just make me do stuff like this. Yeah, everything is going to be uploaded to the Facebook group. So, and they all go into a stack of sketches that I can work on later. So it's not like, oh, then I'm doing this and they'll never be used for something. Maybe someday I'll even do an exhibit somewhere where I'll show what I did based on ideas from people from the internet. So. this is supposed to turn into rocks. And we need to get the other ear over there as well. There we go. A bit more of these. You can see it's like it's coming up from behind here. And of course we need the wings. I started out in Team Human at a point trying to do like a coloring book based on ideas. I really want to get back to that again sometime. It was like based on ideas from people in Team Human and Geek Fleet and well, basically anyone who wanted to join in. So I did like different rhymes. And then the drawings of the coloring book was kind of based on the story that we wrote together. That was really, really fun. I enjoyed that. But it can be tough when you try to do like collaborative projects because, yeah, it can be hard to find the right people sometimes to join in on it. But I love doing collaborative projects. So if anyone out there is like, that would be fun sometime doing something, I'm always open for suggestions, especially when I'm home and bored. So I do like the main lines. I think this one, it would look really good if we had like either a moon or a planet in the background, because I really like the way that looks. So a little bit of clouds here. I just heard a door. That means my boyfriend is home from school. Yay! So as you can see here, you have one more dragon coming up. Moon in the background. Slightly different angles. Oh yeah, you said that, Zazu. So, well, I like having, I wrote Wilshi on this one. Those two will of course go into the Facebook group. I like to have either educate school or, oh, that was a big picture of me. Let's get that one scaled down. Either a job or school or something to kind of focus on. It's just more fun having something to do. I'm not good at just being home, doing my best, but since now it's been like a year I've had to be home, so slightly boring at the moment. Okay, let's get back to our Diablo run here. Let me just... There we go. You are no longer away. That's a good thing. So, what was I talking about Diablo-wise? I think I was talking a little bit about the equipment I'm running with. As you can see, I've got an ancient legendary two-handed mace. Not the optimal weapon. It has no extra things on it. Like, for instance, let me see, this one. It has like increase your life per second based on your missing life, which is a good thing because it helps keep me alive when I'm in the middle of the big groups fighting them. This one didn't even have a socket for jewelry, so I had to roll a socket. So I'm really hoping to upgrade that, gets a good job. It's just gonna give me more damage, really. So let's close that down and let's run a little bit more here. Get some more mobs together and just killed a lot of them. It's so relaxing sometimes just having a game where all you have to do is like hack and slash. I mean, I like playing simulator games as well. I'm like a sucker for Sims and SimCity and City Skyline and stuff like that. But sometimes I just want to hit stuff. And on a Friday, well, yeah, let's kill things. Let's see. Okay, you can see this funny crystal here. That's a pylon. This is a speed pylon, so when I click it, I'm going to be moving a lot faster than I did before. And all of this is to make sure I get more paragon levels and more equipment, better equipment hopefully, or at least materials to craft some better equipment so I can move up in torment levels. Oh, nothing down there. Some maps are easier to play than others. This is like a very dungeon-like map with a lot of different hallways and yeah, so they're good in the way that there's a limit as to how many monsters can come at you at once, but at the same time it's yeah, destroy all the things. Also, you never know if you kind of any barrel you break or any box you break, there might be some epic legendary gear in it. So break everything you can, kill everyone you can. There's nothing in here that doesn't deserve to be killed. Everything is some kind of a demon. So it's a nice relaxing change from, for instance, playing Sims where everything you do is kind of involved in how your sim is feeling and making your sim feel better. There's like nothing like that here. It's all just how am I at smashing stuff at the moment. Oh, damn it. There's somewhere in here, there's a tiny goblin and I need to catch it. Because that, oh, I don't think, did it run up there? Yeah, it's there somewhere. No, it went away. These goblins, they create a portal and try to get away from you, and if you kill them you get like extra loot drops, or you might get something called shards that you use to buy random stuff from a vendor called Cadaver, and that what she sells can be like anything. I can hear the clicking going on here. Oh, got another paragon level, that's awesome. And I can show you what I'm using that for as well. Well, yeah, Sims is relaxing in another way because you don't necessarily have to be involved all the time, especially if you say that the Sims you're playing has a high level of just doing stuff on their own. I can't remember what that's called in English. My Sim's in Danish, but come on, you goblin. There you are. Let's see if I can catch this one. It's and not get killed at the same time. Oh, it's trying to run away all the time. That is so annoying. Almost down. Where is it? Ah. As you can see, you can get involved with a lot of different monsters while you're chasing that tiny goblin thing. Did it get away? I'm having a really bad statistic with my goblins at the moment. It's probably the talking at the same time. Oh, it's there somewhere. It's, come on. If nothing else, I get a lot of kills while doing this. But it's like, it's always just out of reach. There it is. Come on, come on. It's a gold goblin, so it's mainly going to give me some gold, but I need that too. Sometimes I like to run what's called an empowered rift, and that'll cost me a couple of millions every time. Oh, I got a green ring, and I got an orange belt. That is absolutely awesome. Now, to just get everything else killed so I can pick that up and see what it got me. It might be an improvement on what I already have. It may just be some random stuff. So this is like a set ring. I already have one set ring. It's one called Focus from a set that's Focus and Restraint. And I got the way. Oh, that's actually for the set I'm wearing. As you can see, if I'm wearing both these rings, I have to do all my equipment in a different way. because this one counts how many ancient items you have equipped, and that is going to increase your damage based on that. Right now, as I'm running with a set, all my bonuses from that would just disappear. This is a belt that has an extra, the orange text down there. Each hit with 7-sided strike grants 3.2% damage reduction for 7 seconds. That's pretty okay, but I'm not using 7-sided strike at the moment, though that it's a pretty good damage move, but it's not what this set is used for. So not at the moment, but if I'm changing my set at some point, I'm gonna put this in my chest, and maybe I'll be able to use it later on. Point and click, yeah. Point and click is awesome too. I haven't played Stardew Valley yet, because there is no doubt that it is a game addiction that is hitting you like 5 minutes after you started the game. It's going to be like me with Minecraft. Just one more block, and then before I know it, I'll be up at 5 in the morning playing. I do try to not fuck up my entire daily routines all the time, keeping it to the weekends. So I always feel, and I think that most of us have that thing where it's like there's always 10 more games that you feel that you should be playing too, because that's what's happening at the moment. But Diablo is one of the standard games I go back to when I really just want to run and do some damage, as mentioned earlier. As you can see, my sweeping wind is up on a stack of 3. That means my toughness is at like 54 million at the moment, opposed to its normal 27. So that's pretty darn nice. That means I can allow myself to go in and gather really big groups and just kill them fast, because I've got the extra damage from the set as well. All based on 1 skill. Well, 2. I'm using my my kick as well to like do 3000% weapon damage when I got a nice big group together. See, let's go that way. There is really no set way you have to run through a rift. It's like just run some direction and kill stuff, and when there's no more places to run, there'll be a door that'll lead you to another level. So you can see these with the blue writing, they have like extra effects on the ground. Those pinkish, purplish spears that's circling is something called arcane damage, which I don't really have a lot of resistance to. Some of the other damage they can have is not as bad for me, because I've collected some items and some skills that makes it possible for me to basically stand in fire on the ground or poison on the ground without taking any damage from it. There is an item out there, an amulet, that would allow me to do the same with arcane. That would allow me to actually gain life while standing in the middle of all the arcane stuff on the ground. But I haven't been lucky enough to get that amulet yet. Ah, Monkey Island. Monkey Island is like the old school game back from when I was around 20 that I really loved. I love the sense of humor in it. Never played the Discworld games, which I really should, because I have read all the books, or everything but 2 books or something like that in the Discworld series. Terry Pratchett is absolutely awesome. I've seen the movies too. Hogfather, Going Postal. Really nice. Really nice. And they're talking about doing a miniseries now. I think it was a miniseries over Good Omens, one of the very first Terry Pratchett books I ever read. The one he wrote with Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman also really a cool dude that does some great writing. Well, we can look into that, Zazu. Friday is like, I mean, I'm going to do like the things that is like the social stuff mainly on Monday evenings. So like the Sims village we're building, I'm going to do that on Monday evenings. And doodle streams is probably mainly going to be Monday evenings too, because a lot of people that would like to be there would be working if I did them Friday. So Discworld Noir. Oh, you went that way around, Dark Winter Dreams. Well, any way that leads you to the books is a good way, because those are awesome. I think one of my favorites is Monstrous Regiment. That's awesome, because it has both Vimes and a whole load of characters you've never really met before, and it's got, oh, what's he called, the journalist? He's in it as well. It's like one of the best interpretations of what war is really about that I've ever read, and with a sense of humor as well. Yeah, well, I could talk Terry Pratchett for hours. I mean, I'm not usually like a really sobby kind of person, but I cried when Terry Pratchett died, and I signed the petition to make Death give him back and everything like that. And I love the idea that everybody who has a web page can, in their code, put in that piece of code that will keep Terry alive on the internet. So. I mean, my absolute favorite character has to be Granny Weatherwax. The witches are absolutely awesome. I mean, I love Nanny Ogg as well, but Granny Weatherwax and her headology and the way she views the world, yeah, she's just like, if I could be anyone in a Discworld book, I'd be Granny Weatherwax. I mean, Vimes is awesome too, but it's just easier to identify with one of the female main characters, to be honest. But I love the Vimes books, great crime stories. Okay, closing in on this rift. Just a few more specials, or yellow or blues, and I'll be there. So I'm gonna smash all the stuff, because that's gonna add to my speed as well. And speed is a good thing, especially when you run like the greater rifts, the one that are timed. Oh, Death of Rats. I love Death of Rats. I think the first book I got Anders to read of the Terry Pratchett was Mort. Because Death is an awesome character as well. I still need some Terry Pratchett books that's like outside of the Discworld series. There's like this, is it a trilogy? Truggers, Diggers, and Wings, about the tiny people who lives in the carpet. Kids books. And I think I'm still one or two short in the Tiffany series as well. That's Discworld, but that's like more aimed at a younger audience. But like with everything Terry Pratchett does, there's always like several layers in what he's writing, so everybody should be able to get something from it. Yeah, Mort was a great book. And I like that his main characters aren't like flawless. They always have like things in their personality that makes them way more relatable. Yeah, I'm killing demons, Lux. I'm like, today I'm just gonna kill stuff. Oh wait, I need to get that globe there. There we go. So I'm just running some standard Nephilim rifts, trying to see if I can get a little bit more gear and maybe at some point graduate and go to Torment 8 instead of Torment 7. Torment 7 here is actually the top difficulty I've ever run on my own in a seasonal character. Usually it's like I start out on the season and then something in real life shows up and I end up not spending as much time as I'd like to playing the Rift. So as you can see this time, oh no, you can't see it here, but this time I've gotten as far as the Slayer chapter in the seasonal journey. Yeah, follow Lux. We like our good streamers here, and as long as it's not like total self promotion, people are welcome to say they're a streamer in my chat. We like to share the love. But do yourself a favor if you're like new to the stream and just go in chat and the first thing you say is like, oh, I'm a streamer, come look at my channel. That's kind of rude. But when you've been here a while and even on your first day here, feel free to talk about being a streamer because there are more than one streamer in chat usually. So you might find something in common to talk about. Oh yeah. Pyramids, that's a good one too. It's like a great mix of like old. I think it's great because it kind of his books that focus on religion are really awesome, and there's like part of the religious thing in Pyramids. He just has such a great take on things. There's no doubt that. I would say like people are always like, oh, who's the Tolkien of your generation? Well, you can't be the Tolkien of a generation. There's only one Tolkien and there's only one Terry Pratchett. So he's not the Tolkien or anything. He's his very own author with a very unique writing style. Okay, just got killed by the Rift Guardian because I became slightly involved in talking about Terry. So let's just get this Rift Guardian down. I think it's his ads that got me. Weird Sisters, Witches Abroad, and Lords and Ladies is a nice kind of trilogy in the middle of the series. I'm just killing a little extra now. I mean, I've already done the Rift and I should go back and get my reward, but... Oh, thank you for the host, Lux. So let's just kill this one. These are so annoying because they kind of shield themselves a lot of the time. It's not that I can't take them down, they're just like slower to take down than the other mobs. Oh, Equal Right. I remember that the first Terry Pratchett book I ever read was Equal Rights, but I found it in Danish in the library. And it was like a fantasy-like cover, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna enjoy reading this. And it was really a bad book. Years later, then I found Lords and Ladies in English, and I was like cracking up with stomachache and laughter, and I was like, oh my god. And then I found out that it was the same writer who did write Equal Rights. So I went back and read it again, this time in English. And all I can say is a lot of things can't be translated. So, oh, have a nice lunch, Zazu. Say hi to Kathy. So it wasn't really that Equal Rights was a bad book. It was just that the translation was horrible. It was like it didn't get the layers that's in Terry's original writing, and it was like dumbed down to a kid's level. which was really sad because, as I said, even when he writes for kids, there's like several levels in it, and an adult can get something from it too. So, so I was kind of sad that I read it first in Danish. Oh, let's just close this and go back to town and get my extra XP for finishing this rift. There we go. Let's go talk to Aurek. Hi, Aurek. I grant you the power of your ancestors. Why, thank you very much. That gave me a second Paragon level, so in here you can see these are my Paragon levels. And that's all like levels above level 70. That just gives me extra stats, but I get to choose how to place the points. So far I've gone up all I could on my critical hit chance. I'm gonna add one more point in my critical hit damage because I'm working to get some damage here. As you can see, I can only get like 50 in each of these. In here, in defense, I went for resist all in the beginning, and now I'm going for life regeneration, just for survivability. So there's also like the core, and when you're a monk, the core is dexterity. So I could, of course, you know, go in and put something in vitality, but the way I'm playing the set I'm wearing at the moment, I don't really need the vitality for this. It's like a battle to make sure that I get the damage. The vitality seems to be like with this character. Oh, I'm fine on Torment level 4. I'm playing 7 at the moment. So if you need a boost or something, you can just say so. Like I said, like at the moment, this is my character, so I have like a base damage around 1 million, which is pretty good for a monk because it's not always melee damage. And I've got a toughness, that's a base toughness of 27.4 million, which doubles up as soon as I have this one active. Oh, you need to kill Malthael 4. Malthael, yeah, sure. Are you online? Well, you can just jump online and then we can just go and kill him for you. No, I'm not playing hardcore at the moment. This is just seasonal. You can see here, I'm running the season journey. I'm 2 things short of having the Slayer level here, the Slayer chapter. I've already finished chapter 1 through 4. I need to kill Isual at level 70 on Torment 7 or difficulty or higher, so the Torment level I'm at presently. And I still haven't done my set dungeon. Oh, you're at work. Well, what time do you get off work, Binky? I might be persuaded to go online if I'm not, and then help you out with that, because that's just a quick little run for me. Or maybe do some bounties if you need something else besides that. Let's just see, what did I get here? I got a couple of extra stuff here. 2-hand sword and a die bow. Let's just clean out all the yellow stuff. I don't need that at the moment. I've got like an entire page in my chest with yellow stuff for upgrades. So I'm just gonna salvage based on color. Blue, gray is poor color. Blue is base magic damage, base magic items. Yellow is rare items, and orange is legendary items. When you're lucky, you get ancient legendary, and that kind of gives you some better stats. So, and let's do some repairs. I died once, so 17,000, but that's still pretty darn reasonable since I've got 84 millions on my account. Ah, 7:30. Well, I'll make sure I'm online when you're home, Binky, and we can just run that. No, the season's been running for a while. Did it start in January? I think. So I'm so far I'm at 259 in Paragons, because I've been playing a bit more this season than the season before. I think I was only like 180 or 190 in Paragons in the last season. So so when the season stops, that's they usually tell you a little bit before, and then you know, oh, this season is going out now. So this is just a standard non-hardcore seasonal character. We can just go out here for a minute and look through my characters once. I did that in the beginning, but there's more people in chat now than when I started out. So if I go in on my heroes here, you will see that I am predisposed to playing a monk. I really love that character. And I have a level 7 hardcore because I started the ones I have that aren't seasonal. Most of those were started out as seasonal characters, except Weatherwax. That is my original monk character. She's at 366 because the paracons that I earn in a season is not being directly added, but these 259 I'm getting here, they're gonna affect this, so I might be at 400 in Paragon on my normal characters after this season is done. So yeah, and as you can see, I like my punny names, and I have my one Weatherwax there. That isn't as punny. Buttercup, I love that name because it's a pretty little yellow flower that is also poisonous if you're stupid enough to eat it. So never eat a buttercup, especially not the roots. So there's a bit of a pun in that as well. You might be a pretty little flower, but that doesn't mean you're not dangerous. So I'm going to select Buttercup again and go back into the game. Let's just see, are we closing it? Yeah, actually this is a good point to do my 10-minute break. So I'll be back at 3:05 it is here, so in just about 10 minutes. I'll just stretch my legs and say hi to my boyfriend who's home from school, and then I'll be back. I'll just keep the game running and turn off the camera and the sound as usual, and I'll see you all in a little bit. Okay, I think I'm back with both video and sound. So let's just put up some glasses and yeah, I think that sounds like a fun idea, Lux. And you playing a wizard is no issue. My boyfriend likes playing a wizard, so I'm used to being like the tank in the group. So that's one of the reasons my monk is built to be a frost monk, because it helps out a lot. I kind of grab everything and drag it together and freeze it down, and then he does all the main damage he can. So he's like the damage, and I'm like just making sure that he's being kept safe most of the time. So yeah, it actually fits pretty well if you run a team of a wizard and a monk. And I'd love doing it hardcore and seasonal. Just have to figure out when it's gonna fit, so I can make sure that I have a real nice schedule for it. So yeah, definitely, I'm up for that. As I said, Diablo is one of my main games. I really like playing it, and it's one of the few games where I like being the tank, because I can be a damage tank as well. I'm not really good at being like a barbarian. My boyfriend plays a leap quick barbarian too at times. I've tried, but it doesn't really fit my play style. I'm more like just run in the middle, drag everything together, and then just start doing damage while trying not to die. And then if I'm with someone else, counting on them to do the extra damage to take down the big groups and the bigger bosses. So that would be immensely fun. As you can see, this is Kadala, and she's one of my main reasons to curse once in a while, because when you buy stuff with Kadala, you don't know what you're buying. You get like mystery weapons, or you get mystery gloves and armor, or mystery trinkets. So right now I've got a max of 800 I can have on this account, so I try to use them. And since the set I'm running with isn't my favorite set, I mean, it's working for me because I've built my character for it this time. It's the seasonal set I'm running with. So I got it just for getting chapters. Oh, thank you for the host, Toad Coder. Uh, so so what I really want is another set. So I'm going to Kadala's, I'm buying all the mystery stuff, and I'm hoping that at some point it's going to fall out to be the set I want it to be. So let's just buy some stuff here. I've got something there. Ancient set chest armor. It's Raymond of 1,000 Storms, and what I'm really looking for is a set that's called Ulianas, because I do some main damage there with explosive palm. But I'm of course going to put it in the chest, because if I can collect like an entire ancient set of something, I'm gonna try running with it just to see how that build affects my playstyle, or if it fits it. So let's go to the set piece page. This is all the stuff I have. As you can see, I have an ordinary set chest armor here. If you look at the stat changes, it's like -6/7, -10/8, and +5/7. If I go with this one, it has all minuses, so in some areas it's actually not as good as the other one. Let's try looking at them side by side. So what's the difference here? It has way more dexterity, but instead of resistance to all elements, it's got vitality, so that's a stat I could re-roll. It does sweeping wind damage, which is not optimal because the set in itself doesn't really use sweeping wind damage. That would be more relevant for my Monkey King guard. Oh yeah, enjoy your dinner, Dark Winter Dreams. Important to remember to eat. So I'm going to keep it here, just because it's ancient, and I might want to re-roll it for the set later on. I'm running seasonal Fazcat, and it's not hardcore, it's just standard. And when I'm streaming right now, I'm mainly running Nephilim Rifts standard, because that way I don't have the time pressure for running the Greater Rifts. I'm running at Torment 7 at the moment. I'm Paragon 259. And as you can see, I've done what I could to build damage because there's a lot of toughness built in the set I'm running with. And there's also a lot of damage multipliers if I remember to use the right skills. So, but if you want to, we can try running something else. I can do a series of bounties if you want to. It's basically just me killing stuff again, but there's like more goals and it still doesn't have a time limit. So we can just see who's got the bonus bounty. That's in chapter 3 at the moment. That will give me double the reward for finishing the 5 bounties. So you can see everything here that has what's it called? And not an asterisk, exclamation mark. Everything that has like a yellow exclamation mark here is bounties. So they've kind of taken from the story, the campaign mode. They have these different acts, and when you run bounties, it's kind of just taking certain waypoints in the chapter and handle all the way through the, well, that depends on always making sure that that we are on the right difficulty level comparatively. It should be no problem just getting a level 70 if we don't go at the top torment levels too fast, because there's a lot of toughness built in the monk because it runs on dexterity. So right now I just have to get into a certain instance here and kill all the enemies that's in there. That's like the bounty 1 here. What difficulty do you think you can handle all the way through? Well, I would say that we would change the difficulty because when you start out, like it's I would start at hard or expert. Maybe hard because it's hardcore. So expert might be a little bit much in the beginning until I start getting some equipment. And then it's just depending on, you know, what equipment we get, both of us, how much damage you can do with your wizard, and how my survivability matches up, really. So I'd probably start out on hard, and then depending on how that goes, how quickly we kind of gear up, that would be like what decided when we could get the difficulty level higher. But both of us should be able to survive at hard. Probably expert as well, but as I said, it's not as much a given on expert when you're starting out. Oh, that's no problem, Lux. I'm willing to run it slowly. No worries. After all, it is hardcore, and the goal is to not die, so when I'm running something like this and it's not, you know, it's not hardcore, I don't have to worry too much about dying, and I have this skill, you have it as well on the wizard, I'm pretty sure, where you can die once and then you come back to life with 35% health, so that helps a lot, but that you have to be, I think that's one of the last skills passive you get, so you have to go all the way to 70 before you kind of get that extra chance of dying once in a while. Depends on where you're playing from, Fast Cat. I'm of course on the European server. I've tried early on being on a couple of North American servers, but with my Battle.net account, both in Diablo and World of Warcraft. But unfortunately, every time I've kind of started on a North American server, my account got hacked. I don't know why it's more of an issue when I am on the North American servers, because it never happened on the European servers. So, but if you're on the European server, I feel, yeah, sure. Just sent me a friend request in game and tell me what your battle tag is, so I know that it's you asking. I don't mind being friendly with people I know and that I have regular interactions with in different chats. Oh, let me just check the map. There we go. Oh, I'm done, that's why. Am I done? Yeah, I am done. Talking and running bounties at the same time. Next bounty, kill Lummock the Brute. Oh, I think that would be just a little bit frustrating, Dark Winter Dreams, because it's like, here everything is kind of geared to my level and the difficulty that I've chosen to play on. Oh, goblin. Let me get that little one. There we go. Freeze, god damn it. I mean, not that it would be a problem to play with strangers, because they made this nice thing in Diablo 3 where there's no shared loot. So, I mean, you get all your loot no matter what. But still, I prefer to run with people who I know who are. It's just personal preference. But playing Ark in hardcore would be tough, because you run into high-level monsters from the very beginning if you're not careful. Someone is knocking on the door. Who on earth is knocking on the door on a Friday? Oh, it didn't sound like it was for me, so that's a good thing. Oh, come on, let me get that skill going. There we go. It's a good thing I have this die once and resurrect thingy, because got a bit of a group here and some blues in as well. Oh, down she went. And back up. I need to get that skill going. Come on, there we go. Because it kind of just doubles my toughness instantaneously, so that's awesome. Yeah, well, Benighted, he's like playing hardcore mode no matter what game he's playing, isn't he? If there's a hardcore, he'll play that. If there isn't, he'll just like kind of invent it. Oh, those are the buggers. That's, yeah, fireball damage. Yeah, I wish there was like a cross realm thingy, like when you do instances in World of Warcraft, so you didn't have to be kind of stuck with just the one crowd on one set of servers. But you know, Blizzard giveth and Blizzard taketh away. That's just how it is. All I need, I've got the 100 I needed to kill, so now I just need that Lummock, the brute guy. He's somewhere up ahead, so there we go. Get the sweeping wind up and running, and get that bugger frozen so it doesn't keep spewing enemies at me, because I've got all the kills I need. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's pretty impressive, Dark Winter Dreams. You have a 35 without dying. Firebuggers. Let's get them up. There we go. Well, yeah, I think one of the things I think is really funny here is that in Diablo is since they put in the Paragon levels and they kind of raised the difficulty cap so you can go all the way to Torment 13 in the latest expansion we got. There's something to run for, and seasonal that gives you the time limit, so you can only get as far as you can get within a certain time. I think that's awesome as well, so I'm mainly playing seasonals. I've also started, because you all know that I love playing The Sims, but I actually never played the challenge where you have to have like 10 generations. Legacy, yeah, that's what it's called. So the other day I was watching Gord MacLeod, another awesome streamer. He's doing the Legacy challenge in Sims 4, so I thought, oh yeah, I should really do the Legacy challenge in Sims 3, so I started out a Legacy family. Just to have like something extra in the game besides just sitting and watching the Sims walk around. And it's fun because I often play with like an epic lifespan, so the Sims can kind of get everything, but the Legacy challenge puts you in normal time frame, so you don't have as many days on each Sim to make sure that they actually get to the next generation. So I'm having some fun with that at the moment too, because it's like my boyfriend used to say, I already won Sims. All my Sims always become happy and get their life goals and everything, so seeing if I can still do it while I'm actively working on there being a next generation, and still making sure that I'm not neglecting all the needs of the Sims. Yeah, so that's funny. That was 2. Let's take Kilgarren in the Ruins of Secheron. Yeah, God, he's really a nice guy. I really like him. I've been lurking in his channel a lot too, when he does stuff like that, and I've already been in there yelling at him for making me aware of the Legacy challenge. It's like, ah, gosh darn it. Well, now I'm in the Legacy challenge as well, so something more to use my Sims for. And the worst part was the first Legacy family I started. My second generation, I had a teenager, and my first generation Legacy, she was just pregnant again, and then the game crashed and the save file got corrupted. So, well, I don't really yell. I'm just like, ah. I mean, it's positive always to get something new to do in a game that you like playing, so that it has a bit more playability for you. Let's get that one up and running. Remember to press button number 2. Yeah. There we go. I need something more to hit before it runs out, and I'm not getting that, so let's start that over again. There we go. And a little bit of a whirlwind to drag them all in and freeze them up. Might be running the wrong way here, but I'll find out in a minute. There's like the yellow arrow showing me what direction I should be running, but there's a special mop here. I just want to take that down. Maybe it has something legendary for me. Yeah, I still only have the base pack of Sims 4 because I keep going back to Sims 3. But I'm watching Gord play it, and I have to say I'm more and more like, okay, at some point I need to get going on Sims 4 as well. But with the hard drive I have at the moment, that would mean I would have to remove my Sims 3 for space, and I have our game, the stream game, going there, so that would be like, well, then I'd have to redo everything in Sims 4 instead. And not that I'm against that, but we only just got started on actually playing the city. It's been more like character creation most of the way. Oh, Paragon level. That's always nice. The Diablo stone that I'm running with in my headgear that I got on the anniversary instance. Normally it would stun you, but I have a piece of equipment that makes sure that I won't be stunned, so those fireballs that go out to all sides there, that's from that rock. And it also does that every time I level up, I get 30 seconds where my cooldowns are positively affected and stuff like that. So it's actually a pretty good gem as long as it doesn't stun you. Yeah, Sims 3 is a lot of fun. Actually, I think all the Sims game has special elements. I mean, I can still get nostalgic about the home shops in Sims 2. Because I loved having like, I had like a gambler's den where there was like poker games and stuff going on. That was entertaining, but... And I do think, if I should do any kind of critique, it is that it's like as the Sims game has expanded from Sims to Sims 2 to Sims 3 to Sims 4, it's become a lot more politically correct. And I'm like, this is not real life. This is a game. If I want to kill the characters, let me kill the characters. Don't make it hard for me. If I want to do a gambling den, let me do a gambling den. Because it's not like I identify with the characters I'm creating. That's not why I play The Sims. I like to be a puny little god deciding what everyone is doing. So, and that option is kind of diminished in the later Sims versions compared to the earlier Sims versions. Oh, go down, Garen. Don't just stand there. And it's like with the whirlwind, and he's called Garen, so it's more almost like Garen from League of Legends doing whirlwinds and standing around in a bush. Go stand in a bush. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all the things that I have to deal with in real life and have to think about in the real life, that's not why I'm playing games. And that's why when I want to just freak out and do clicky games, I play Diablo, because I'm allowed to just kill everything if I want to. I'm well aware that's not what I'm supposed to do in real life. I mean, I don't need a game to tell me that. But there's been so many cases of parents complaining about something they don't like in a game, and it's like, well, don't let your kids play the game, because you're kind of screwing it up for the rest of the people who kind of like the game the way it was. But I suppose that the kids are such a big market that it's getting harder to get actual games aimed at adults with an adult sense of humor. And I don't mean just things that are gritty. I mean things that are just funny. Because I like funny stuff. Bad puns and things like that. Let's get more of those. Okay, well that was that bounty. Well, it was done after I killed Garen, but I do tend to hang around a little bit more. Oh, kills idea. Let's do a boss fight. Ah, let's kill everything else just because it's there. I mean, if I wanted a game to be like my real life, I should play a semi-handicapped person who who sits around at home all the time. And I mean, god damn it, that would be boring. I do enough of that real life. I want my characters to go out and be totally different from me. So like my hack and slash monk here. She's a good example. Yeah, it's not that I mind that there's game for kids as well. I just don't think all games are for kids. Because we're like a pretty big audience of people who's pretty far from being kids who love playing games. And if everything has to be like adapted to kids being able to participate, I mean, that's just gonna be a weird world. That's good, the red one. Just seeing if there should be something at the other end of that green tube that might be a bit more fun. Yeah. I mean, if a shining portal suddenly appeared in real life with a tiny goblin that I was allowed to beat to get to a giant vault, I'd definitely beat that goblin. I'll just have to run through a couple of levels here. As you can see, I take no damage from standing in this stuff on the ground because I'm immune to both the poison and the molten effect. So plagued and molten, that's no problem for me. And I don't tend to get knocked back a lot too, because I've kind of built my equipment to help me out there. So nothing. It's all yellow stuff. And I'm running with the Scoundrel as my follower, mainly because I got this really nice legendary item where he gains access to all his skills. So as you can see, instead of having to choose, everything's just active. Plus I'm used to running around with people playing characters that aren't necessarily melee characters. So it fits me just fine to have him running around in the background. Let's get some more experience gain there. Welcome back, Sazu. Right now I'm running a group of bounties because it's fast to go through and yeah. Oh, poor Kathy. Well, if she gets to sleep, being tired isn't too bad. If she has to stay up, I'd be grumpy. If I'm tired and have to be awake, I'm grumpy. So maybe not poor me, poor my surroundings when that happens. Two weeks in a row, yeah, that's tough. Don't you have like any kind of law that says that you have to have like a vacation day after 11 days or something like that? Or is that just me being from a blessed country in that area? There we go. Yeah, I think I'm almost down to the heart of the coast now. So I can go and kill the boss. This is of course one of the campaign bosses that's just set up as being a goal in this bounty. Oh, I've got more auto-host from the Blacktastic, Mr. Pound Sign, and Rebisha. Thank you, Rebby, and Blacktastic, and Pound Sign. I do appreciate that. Who knows, maybe someone out there is bored and have nothing to see, and then because you auto-hosted, they can come here and hang out and chat. Oh, those are the ones. Yeah, Health Link. Well, they're going down, no matter what. Oh, possible job. Is it a good one? Dark Winter Dreams? Wait, who? Oh, didn't sound like a job I want. Yeah. Yeah, I have to go to meet my counselor for being a flexible worker next week, Wednesday. Hopefully he has something good to say, because living in a rural area, having a computer science degree isn't really a good fit for work out here. Plus there's like, in general, not that many jobs available at the moment, so. Ah, okay, financial, yeah. Well, it really matters whether or not you like the company. I mean, I'd be willing to take lower wages and maybe a little bit of difficulty in the work if I really like the company. But if it's somewhere where you don't feel appreciated for what you're doing, or if there's issues, it's a lot tougher to stick it out. 4 days a week from Switzerland. That sounds like a bit of back and forth for you. Idea, there you are. Let's see, can we get her frozen? She's not the worst boss. There's a lot worse than this, but she has some ads. As you can see, she's going down pretty easy. I know soon it's going to be time for me to try out on Torminate and see how much I'm getting killed there, so I can kind of try to adjust my equipment and see what I need. If it's more like a damage thing, or if it's toughness I need to work on. All yellow stuff. I don't need that. Was that the last one? Nope, I think there's one more. Yeah, there we go. Keep depth level 1. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around because of the EU rules that makes it easier for the businesses, but it kind of makes it harder for the workforce to kind of figure out where the businesses are going. We have a lot of outsourcing to Poland in Denmark. Industrial jobs that's going away and being outsourced to Poland because the EU makes it easier now to move there. But it does give some hiccups in like the national, if it's like a Danish company that started out somewhere locally in Denmark, they're kind of losing the loyalty that they had from being a local firm. So there's a lot of issues in it that is usually not figured into the bottom line. I get a feeling sometimes they just sit around with an Excel arc trying to look at expense costs instead of looking at what they're actually getting. But, you know, things change all the time. It reminds me a lot of, historically, the period when we had the first industrialization, where the work in the countryside disappeared and people had to move to the bigger cities, so there was like a depopulation issue in the rural zones, and everybody tried to cram themselves into the cities, even though there weren't really the living conditions they needed. So that's like 100 years ago. And there's no doubt that the fact that IT, computers, robotics and stuff like that is at the level it is now, that's creating some of the similar issues. But we managed last time, so hopefully it's just going to be like a period of adjustment, and then businesses is going to start out here again. We'll have to see about that. Because honestly, I don't want to live in a city if I can avoid it. Been there, done that, and it's not really my cup of tea. And see, no matter what you write in chat, I'm going to end up doing some weird comment on it. It's the talking thing. I just can't stop talking. Oh, there's a minion, so that means there's a special mob somewhere. I'm really looking for Smith. That's when I click him, he's going to have a quest where I have to defend him from a lot of demons spawning. He's somewhere up ahead, out to the side. Meantime, I'm just killing the hardest mobs I can find for drops. That's true, but it's not so much a question about... I think that some people seem to be better suited to live in bigger cities. I simply don't like having that amount of people around me. I get stressed out living in an apartment with people all the being able to hear people all the way around me. It was easier when I was younger. With age, it's gotten a lot harder. So I'm pretty happy about the house we've got. Though I know it limits where I can work, because I can't be transported too much without my health suffering. So, well, I've tried living in a bigger city. I mean, half my family is like Copenhagen people. But my aunt, who lived in there most of her life, she just recently moved out here to live with my mom because she couldn't handle the big city anymore either. So. Oh, I think Anders, he's having a laugh with the guys at Eve. He's playing. He found a pretty good cooperation in Allsec. Yeah, I've taken one break so far, Zazu. I am remembering. So I did a rift, then I took a break, and now it's probably going to fit that when I'm done with this bounty, we're closing in on break time again. Yeah, that's I mean, it really, I don't know why, but it really stresses me out knowing that I'm not alone. I really need to be alone at times, and in cities it's really hard getting like the mental space. You can't even take a walk without being in danger of being trampled or run over by cyclists. I mean, there's just so many people stuffed into a small area. My sister, she's always been more of a city dweller, even though we both grew up out here. So she lives in Copenhagen at the moment. Oh, I think my inventory is overstuffed. Let's just throw out a couple of items. Oh, look how much good stuff I have here. This is going to be fun identifying and seeing what I got. Yeah, I'm not playing my my Eve character at the moment because Anders is borrowing my account and has another character on that account that he used for I think freighting stuff and being a lookout for his corporation. So he's running 3 accounts at the moment. But Eve is like my favorite space game. If I want to just hang around and do some mining and trading and stuff like that. Even some mission running from time to time. Though I'm mainly skilled up to be a miner. I tried Elite Dangerous, but it's like, I'm not really interested in being a pilot. I like that Eve kind of takes into account that if you have a technology to have a spaceship, you also have the technology to have a computer to land the fracking spaceship. So, because, yeah, even bought what you call it, joystick thingy, everything, a HOTAS, one of the cheaper models, but it was like trying to install it and just trying to land the ship. It was like, ugh, this is not what I'm playing. So it's like all depending on what kind of playstyle you like and your different kind of games, you know. And space sims, I like to be advanced. Yeah, Slagelse is like the largest city I've enjoyed living in because it's not that big. It's still provincial. And people don't put on a lot of airs. It's not like, oh, everybody thinks they have to be cool all the time. It's more like, well, we're just people. My experience in Copenhagen was more like, if you didn't wear the right clothes and look the right way, it was pretty hard running into people you could actually hang out with because, and the entire dating thingy happening in there as well, that's not me either. Luckily I'm beyond that now, having a nice steady relationship instead. I do prefer that. Did I get everything? He's still working. Oh, got the boss of the quest now. There we go. Auto duck. Okay, yeah, I didn't know you could do auto duck. Yeah, it's the same here, Dark Winter Dreams. Unless you have a lot of money, you won't get peace and quiet in one of the bigger cities. That's one of the reasons we've got our house out here, because we're both mainly introverted people. Tondas. So we're not really into like the big city thing, and if you want to live somewhere nice in a big city, well, you have to have. Oh, I think I got a chest I forgot to open. Did I? No. Oh, it's just because he's a merchant too. Well, I don't care. That was the 5 bounties. Let's get back to Tyrael and empty out the inventory and see what I got this run. Tondas. That must be when we play together, definitely. It's like, I bought 7 Days to Die because Anders already had it, and we were hoping that there would be like a local game option where you didn't have to run a server or anything. You could just kind of play with whoever was on your local network. But it didn't look like there was an immediate function like that. So it's like, oh, darn it. Because I prefer playing survival games with him. He likes to kill all the stuff, I like to build all the stuff. So it's like a... Yeah, well, there's a lot of companies in Denmark always scouting for people throughout Europe, actually, because you know how it is. There's always only a certain percentage of a nationality that has a certain level of education. So if you need people at a certain level of education, you might not be able to get everybody from the same country, especially when it's a small country like Denmark. We only like 6 million people here, so so that kind of limits it. It's also the explanation about why we have quite a high percentage of educated people in Denmark, because a lot of like base industrial jobs have been exported to other countries, and trying to upgrade the workforce. Though in my region, we're still like an industrial region, so I'm like pretty well off having a computer science degree when you're counting like education level, but there's just not a lot to use it for because a lot of the industries we have out here, they have like their IT departments placed in Copenhagen instead. So let me just see what chat is saying. Yeah, I think both Kalundborg and Slagelse, the two cities in my area, has around 25,000 people in them, something like that. And if you go to Copenhagen, they are like, what, 1.5 million? And that's like the biggest city we've got. So it's like tiny countries. We don't have a lot of big cities. There's like 3 big cities, really. We've got Copenhagen, Odense, and Aarhus. And depending on what you want to do, one of those 3 is going to be the best place. Then again, it's a country that's so small that if you go from one end to the other in a train, it'll only take you 6 hours, even though you have to pass bridges and go from one island to the other and stuff. So yeah. Oh, let's just make sure we talk to Tyriel so I can get my rewards here. There we go. Tyriel, my friend, what do you have for me? You have some experience points, if nothing else. And then I've got these 2 nice cash. That one. There's a build in that one. And some crafting materials and some jewelry. Or jewels, not jewelry. And a plan for some crafting. Let's see. I did that. Let's just train that one there. Throw a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, this is helping out. Soon I'll be able to to upgrade this, but it's quite a bit of upgrades before I get to the ones I really want. Yeah, well, it's like those of you who visited me, you know that it's like you don't have to go very far from Copenhagen before it's countryside, because we have like that one big city, then we have like Roskilde, that is like the biggest of the provincial cities on Zealand, and then it's just like a couple of towns the size of Slagelse, Kalundborg, Næstved, stuff like that. And also it's like Denmark spent a lot of money trying to make the country as green as possible. So you might have noticed the insane amount of windmills when you get to like the west coast, the area where I'm living, because there's like windmills everywhere. I think there's one point near Slagelse there. If I stand on a hilltop, I'll be able to count like 25 windmills within viewing distance or something like that. We have very strict regulations about everything environmental, and we're working on making it stricter even, but that also makes it hard for standard industrial production, because standard industrial production is usually not clean, and that pushed out of the country, and it kind of leaves a lot of the people who don't have a high degree of education without a lot of work to look for, which is a bit sad. So they end up having to go to the bigger cities and start working in shops, service industries and stuff like that. Though there's always like the option to go back to school to a certain degree. We're all like allowed, 5 years of higher education. So we're allowed to do like college, and then after that 5 years as a maximum where we can get like student benefits. And then if, like me, at a later age you find out that you have some health issues and you're willing to fight a bit for it, you might be revalidated, as they call it. So that's how I went from being a tailor to being a computer science graduate. Because it was like I was already in a technical area doing pattern grading and stuff like that, and having worked with AutoCAD and some of the bigger programs there. But yeah. Yeah, we have like the landscape is what you call an after Ice Age landscape. You can still see like um, all the hills and the valleys between the hills that you see in the region I live in. That's like the leftovers from the glaciers, and like the big lake we have close where I'm living, Tisø. That is where a remnant of glacier melted down and left an entire lake. So so there's like a lot of hills and stuff like that. Still like a pretty flat country, but not as flat as Holland. I remember being there and was like, in many ways it reminded me of Denmark, except that it's like the flattest part of Denmark you can find. So yeah, I like my country. I mean, of course, I have opinions about a lot of things that are going on politically, but I've promised myself for a while to stay away from politics because the world is a little bit insane in that area at the moment. So, oh, let's identify some of all this stuff here. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because go back a couple of 100 years, we had a lot of immigrants from Holland, and they actually the area where the airport is in Copenhagen, Kastrup, is on like an island. Um, so so it was like it was like a very swampy area because yeah. So the Dutch people, they actually managed to make that island. They created that island we have out there because they wanted to do agriculture, and they were like set in what was considered like the worst place you could do agriculture, and they were like, oh, okay, all we have to do is drain some water and then there's good soil. So they did that. That's kind of funny. Yeah, it does, also. It does. So it's like of course, when we have elections and stuff, I get involved and I go vote and everything. But I tend to get annoyed and angry sometimes if yeah, if I spend too much time watching politics. So at the moment I'm limiting my time on social media because I don't want to get mad at everybody. So I prefer to be on friendly footing with most people, no matter what their political views might be. Yeah, it's a pretty hard if you want to do something like this, like streaming and you know, running around spending your time being annoyed at people that basically just came in to get entertained in your chat. So I prefer to, of course, people can, as long as, I think I wrote it in the chat rules, as long as you're civil about it, you can discuss just about anything in my chat. But you have to be civil about it and think about how you're formulating what you're saying. So if you're feeling extremely emotional about something, take a break, take 5 minutes and read through what you were about to write in chat, and then delete it if after 5 minutes you're not in the same emotional state, because it's like supposed to be for everybody. Okay, let's see. That was like my rant about politics for the day. Let's get some of these rocks back in the chest. There we go. And see what we got here. So I got a belt that I already have. I got an ancient legendary mace. It has no socket. Like this one has an empty socket I can put jewelry in. This one doesn't have one, so it's not really worth that much to me. It has no specials that I can extract from it. So that is probably just going to be recycled so I can get crafting materials. I think I already have that one, that belt. Oh, that's called Insatiable Belt. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got that one already. 1910-175. This one is slightly better, but really I'm only going to extract the power from it. So, and the Binding of the Lost, I've got that one already as well. And they're both crappier than what I'm wearing, so that's going to be recycled. This one, I think the effect is the one I'm already using. Let's just see down here. Thunder God's Vigor. So not exactly. Oh, Shepherd's Hammer. Yeah, I'm already doing a lightning skill on this one, on my weapon. 850 for 5 seconds every second. This one's actually pretty cute because it goes in and affects their attack speed and movement speed as well. So I'm just going to put it in there because I might just need that effect at some time. This one, another lightning, but once again, no socket. It has some pretty nice stats despite the fact that it doesn't have a socket, and actually it's a one-hander, so I might want to change to dual wielding at some point, so I'm going to save that one as well. That's of course not ancient, but this one, no, I'm not going to use that one. That's going to be recycled. Oh, ancient legendary, but with no socket. Yeah, has a lot of toughness though, but its base damage is lower. Its dexterity is lower. Doesn't have the 10% extra damage there. I would have to re-roll some stuff just to get the socket. So yeah, yeah. So that's mainly going to be recycled. Yeah, it's nearly time for break. You're totally right about that, red one. So let's just recycle this stuff and I'll take my break and then I'll be back for the last hour. So salvage and click all the orange stuff. There we go. And I need to keep this ring here because it's like the other part of the set here. So if I want to change into Ancient Legendary at some point, I can get all the extra damage stats from that one. So, there, my jewelry. There we go. Litany of the Undaunted, a Wailing Host. Yeah. Yes, I am going to take my break. I am going to be back in just about 10 minutes as usual, so see you then. And we are back on track, I hope. Let's see, that camera keeps tilting a little bit. Yeah. Oh, it definitely affects the light depending on how I tilt it soon. Yeah, I think that's okay. So, last hour of today's stream. Let me just get the sound off my stream window, otherwise I get confused by hearing myself echo. So, let's just see, did I get any shards here? I've got 162. Well, unless I run into an insane amount of shard goblins, I should be able to do one more rift, and then go back to Kadala and see whether she wants to give me anything useful, or if she's just gonna stuff my inventory with blue and yellow items. My damage gone up a little bit, my toughness gone up a little bit. I've got like 5 paragon levels so far today. I used to get usually get a little bit more, but then that's when I'm running a bit more concentrated and not talking as much. So let's just jump into a standard Nephilim Rift. The one without the timer, where there's only a kill counter instead. And start by freeing them poor angels. So this is going to be like this is like my expansion on my streaming schedule. I'll make sure to write it on my my stream page as well. That from now on I will be streaming every Friday in this time frame, 3 hours from 2 to 5 Central European time. Besides that, I'm keeping up, of course, my usual Monday stream hours, which is as close to 8 o'clock Central European time in the evening I can get as a starting point, and then 2 to 3 hours depending on how I'm doing on a particular day. So, and if anyone is like, I wish she did a marathon stream, I'm pretty sure if I tried doing a marathon stream, I would top out at around 5 hours, and then I'd be like broken for a day after that. So I might do one at some point, but it would have to be something really, really relaxing. So it would probably be art streaming or something like that. So at the moment, you're gonna have to be happy with like 1 extra day a week, and this time is like yeah, I really wanted to do one like this that's a bit earlier in the day for me, because I have my energy levels are just a little bit higher this time of day. And then Monday streams, Sims and artwork and social mainly, and Friday streams is going to be more like this, where I try to do some actual gaming. Or maybe do some more coding. If you remember, I'm pretty fond of playing around with Game Maker, and it kind of reminds me of the education I took once, that I did it for a reason. So I like to do like a little bit of tutorial on how to do simple game functions and stuff like that. Thank you, Zazu. It's good to know that there's no pressure like that. It is, after all, mainly something I do for fun, and to make sure that there's places for people to go and hang out, and hanging with my friends. Yeah. Everybody should have somewhere to hang with their friends, and Twitch is a nice option when a lot of your friends isn't in the country you're in, so. We have the best people. Yeah, I think that if I should do a charity... Oh, I just got killed there from reading chat. if I should do a charity, it would probably be to support the cat shelter that we have. We have a local animal hospital in Scalese, which is where my cats get taken when they have to go to the vet. And they are right next door to what you call it, a cat shelter where they kind of take in unwanted cats and try to get them adopted. And they always need money to make sure they can vaccinate the cats and take good care of them. And I mean, my cats are my babies, so that would probably be something like that, because I know that one day when my cats aren't here anymore, that's where I'm going to go to find my next baby. So I mean, of course there's a lot of other charity things you can do, but like besides animal shelters, and one of my main things would be environmental work, because I care a lot about water quality and food quality and stuff like that, because as someone who has a lot of allergies, I know it's important, even for people who don't have allergies, that they don't get them from bad water or bad food. So, but that's like a bit more political than the cat shelter, and I'm like trying to stay away from the political stuff, as I said. Was there still someone down there? Did I get all of the maps? Need to get these globes here to make sure the counter keeps running upwards. So yeah, and it's like we have a lot of issues with feral cats in my area, because we have a lot of vacation homes along the beach, and unfortunately it often happens that people from other parts of the country or other countries who have a vacation home, they kind of feed cats while they're there. They feed the feral cats, which makes it possible for them to breed at a higher rate that they might not do otherwise. But they don't take on the actual responsibility of the cat, which means making sure it gets neutered and doesn't add to the issue. And since we don't have a lot of wildlife in Denmark anymore, that's like our own wildlife, cats are pretty bad for the areas, because we have some most of what we have of wildlife is like birds and tiny rodents and stuff like that, and they even make it hard for our foxes, because they're kind of in competition for the food sources. So it's not just a question about loving cats, it's also a question about being aware that that if you are feeding cats and taking on the responsibility, you might have a bigger impact on the local environment than you actually think you have. That there's always more to it. Also because there used to be like a bigger need for rural cats, because all the farms had to have them to kind of help out with the rodent issues and stuff like that. But there's just not that many farms anymore. And it's like an excellent country to be a cat in, just running around wild. But they do spread, the feral cats, they do spread diseases among other cats that has an outside life as well. So yeah, that would probably be the charity if I should do like a stream for charity. Hi Ryoshi, welcome. It's I'm on the final hour of today. I started out at 2 o'clock. Glad you could make it and just pop by. Oh, I love seeing people. I mean, it's always nice that there's new people, but I always get like, "Ee," when someone I know come by. It's like, yay, cool, come into my little clubhouse here and have fun with the other people. Oh, we love you too, Ryoshi. It's great having you here. Oops, something is trying to kill me. Let's make sure it doesn't. There we go. Oh, it has those annoying arcane all on top of each other. You see? Ah, god damn it. This might kill me. Yeah. Can I get to that healing globe? No, everything's in the way. Let's get some health there. Yay, I didn't go down. Okay, now go down. Just you. Yeah. Awesome. See, this rift is going a lot faster because I'm not like drawing dragons and you know, gone through like everything I wanted to say about the character build at this particular time. I mean, I could always just talk more about character builds because there's so many different options in here depending on how you want to play specific characters. But there's also a lot of web pages where you can go, and if you're like having doubts about how to build your character in Diablo, there will be like a rundown on depending on which skills you want to work with, what sets you should really be going for. So if you really want to go in depth with that, just go and Google Diablo and character builds. There should be something for you there. Also, Blizzard usually has some pretty good forums and communities around their games. So yeah, drawing dragons is nice. It's always funny. I've done my best to make sure that the things I put on the redeeming list on what you can do with your catnip is things that I think is funny. That's why the singing is there too. I'm not necessarily any good at singing, but I love singing. So and people should do something they love. And dragons, that just never gets old. Not for me, at least. So this last Monday here, we had, Monday this week, it was a sim stream. So that means that next Monday, this upcoming Monday, is going to be probably a doodle stream. So I'll be drawing. So if anyone is like, oh, I have too much catnip up, you can start thinking up titles that you think would be funny for me to draw, or that you would just like to see me draw. The rules about it is on the Revlo page. I think that's just Revlo/TonyCat or something like that. I'm pretty sure my mods have a link for it somewhere. And of course you can always interrupt the stream if you just want me to draw a dragon in the middle of everything else I'll be doing. Yeah, doodle stream. That's why I started doing this Friday thing, because I couldn't get all the different things I want to do on stream. It just wouldn't all fit in on Monday evenings. So I kind of tried to split it up a little bit. Come on, don't do that shield thingy. We don't want that shield thingy. Luckily for me, they're mainly plagued, so that's the green stuff on the ground, and I'm pretty immune to that. So much better than that arcane. I still need that that amulet. Though I would have to wear it, which kind of break up my set, but hopefully I'm gonna end up getting that Oleana set. Oh, 290. Well, you definitely have something to spare there. And the red one has 310. Well, 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 well. I remember that when I'm working on a title, I spend a bit longer on the drawings than when I do the dragon, where I just have to draw a dragon fast. So I think in 3 hours, how many can we get in there? How many did we do last time? Was it 3, 4? Maybe 5. Can't remember. We might have to set up a limit so that people don't redeem something that I don't have the time to do. Because I like when there's like a title involved, trying to do a little bit extra. Yeah, 4. So 4 allows for time for me to make it into an actual something a bit more than just sketch level. Oh, I got killed while talking. It seems to happen a lot today. Well, it's a good thing this isn't a hardcore. If I'm going to do that hardcore run with Lux when the next season starts up, I am definitely going to need to talk less while playing. That will mean I will have to learn some restraint in that area. Now that was a pretty darn quick rift. Let's just kill that bugger. And then go back to town. It's only like, that was like 10, 12 minutes for a rift, something like that. So we can do one more. Yeah, 4 or 5. 4, I think, so that we're sure that I get through them, so we don't have like a 5th viewer who won't be able to get their reward. Because I'm kind of stuck on this 3-hour thing. Okay, we've got some shards. For some reason I've been picking up white stuff, probably just from clicking on the ground while running. So let's go and get all that dismantled into crafting materials. There we go. Let's do some repairs and let's just identify what we got. I'm still like, even though I know it's rare, that I get something that's actually better than what I already... Oh, that was the wrong page. I just clicked everything onto. Let's just get that back to that place. There we go. I'm always like, oh, this could be anything. I mean, this is one of the ugliest helmets in the game, but it might be an ancient legendary. You never know. Let's see. It's not too bad. 15% chance on being hit by an undead enemy to charm it for 2 seconds. Well, yeah, still doesn't beat the set I'm on. Iron-tail mudsputters. Gain up to 28% increased movement speed based on amount of life missing. That can be pretty good, actually. That can be pretty good. My phone is saying stuff. Let me make sure that I'm actually seeing what's happening here. No, I'm not playing Stardew. Stardew. Nope, no Stardew. I've promised myself I'm not going to jump into that way too much of my time if I start playing Stardew. I tend to get hooked on games like that to an insane level, and I do prefer a bit more variety than just sitting with one game, the same game every time. Yeah, I know it's a popular game and a lot of people are streaming it. So there's a lot of places to go if you want to watch a Stardew run stream. So Stardew. Dew. Apologies if my pronunciation isn't perfect. It's part accent, part missing teeth. Oh, need to get those. I'm up to 48 Greater Rift Keystones, so that means I can do some runs of that as well. Those boots are made for walking, so that's not actually for running, so let's put them in there, in my Ancient Legendary. And I don't think I have that one, so I'm going to keep it just to be able to extract the power if I should need it for something at some point. Yeah. Let's see, oh, not that one. Did I set all my paragons? No. Paragon points. We are running with... Oh, why do I have 2 in life? That wasn't the one I was working. I need to reset that at some point so I can make sure it's in life regeneration instead. And working on that critical hit damage and a little bit of extra dexterity there. Yeah, it's all helping a little bit all the time. Discworld games. Yeah, I should do that. That way I can be like, oh, that's like that book, that's like that book. And it'll be like me talking Terry Pratchett for an entire stream. So let's just start up one more and see how far I'm going to get in this one. Unleash your power. I really like the scoundrel character that I have as a follower, because when I'm standing still, he keeps on saying stuff like, you know, if you keep standing still, I'm gonna rob you, and stuff like that. The Templar, who is like the tank follower character you can have, is much more like a stoic warrior type, and he's not as funny to listen to, so I prefer the scoundrel. He has so many more jokes. Oh, welcome back, and hope you can stay awake after eating so much, Lux. I'm just on my final run of the day here. Well, at least on stream run. I might be playing a little bit later. I kind of promised Pinky I would log in again later, so I think I'll do that. Help him get through that Torment 4 chapter. I think he's doing seasonal chapters, so... I don't even know what a quesadilla is. I know how to pronounce it, I think, but I don't think I've ever had one. Not a lot of Mexican food in Denmark. I mean, we just about know what tacos is, and that's close to it. Ah, those things in a tortilla. Well, that sounds delicious. That sounds nice. I love the entire thing with salsa and guacamole and stuff like that. Also because it's like, I mean, the worst thing about guacamole is that it's hard to get ripe avocados. So you kind of have to buy avocados, and then you have to wait for the day they're ripe to decide today I'm doing Mexican. So that's like, but ooh, sounds good. Special sauce. Yeah, actually, I'm As some of you know, every Saturday I get a visitor who is one of my childhood friends. They had a kid, and he turned out to have Asperger's. So he comes around most Saturdays, and I've been doing that for 4 years. And I've used games to teach him math and English because he was having issues in school. But he was really into computers, so I told him if he ever wanted to work with it, he just had to become good at math and English, because not a lot to do if you're not good at math and English. Like, is there by now any programming language that isn't based on those two things? I mean, it's kind of one of the things you have to be able to master. And because he knew what to use it for, it kind of helped out with all his school subjects. So it's fun being a mentor that way. Also, talking about why normal people do weird stuff sometimes, or rather, it seems weird to people who don't think in the same way, but you have to learn to live with it nonetheless. That's one of the secrets of learning to live with Asperger's, is don't try to understand. Just accept that some things is in a certain way when you're with people, and find some way to handle the parts of it that's hard for you. Math is I think one of the reasons I like math is, to me, it's like the ultimate language. All other languages, there's like interpretation happening. So even though you think you're saying a certain thing in a language, other people might, due to their experiences, interpret it in certain ways, while math is like the perfect language. When you say something in math, other people who know what math is, they know what you mean. There's not like a lot of discussion going on there. So you have like your normal languages for handling emotion and cooperation and stuff like that, and then you have math for like a higher level language. Yeah, legendary. Luckily I get quite a bit of those because I'm running around on Torment 7. Usually it was like when you went to Torment 8 you would get like a higher degree of legendaries, but that was back when the Torment limit was 10. So now I'm kind of looking forward to see if I can get to 10 in this season, and see if I'm gonna feel that increased drop rate as well. But I get something on every run when I'm running Torment 7, so. And a nice percentage of that is ancient too. I think that a lot of people, without thinking about it, are being taught by other people that math is hard. Because if you're around people that keep telling you math is hard and you have to be especially intelligent to handle math, you're kind of stopping yourself from just trying it out. Seeing where you can go with it. I mean, my special area in math that I love is algorithms, because they're like tiny stories where you try to fix. It's a bit like a puzzle game, really. So I know, for instance, my sister was convinced that she was really horrible at math, but when I helped tutor her for an exam she had to do back when we were younger, she was like one of the top of her class at that exam, because we kind of went through it well, I think it's important to understand both math and language, because when you teach math you have to use language to teach math, which is where it can all go wrong. But with her, it was pretty much because she had a teacher that told her she was bad at math, and she really wasn't. And there's also a difference between math and calculus. You know, some people can be good at math and bad at calculus, or the other way around, but a lot of people never get to the stage where they find out, because if they have like a bad experience with one of the things, they never try the other. So so I think it's very important when you teach people that you kind of figure out what their strong suits are, and then and where their interests lie, because that kind of help you get them motivated for certain things, if you can kind of relate it to things they actually want to do. So yeah, I loved being a teacher when I was a teacher. I didn't love the other teachers, but I was pretty crazy about the kids. Nah, it's never too late if you really want to. But it's like you have to have something that kind of makes you want to do it. I mean, I remember back when I was in, when you're in grade school and you're like, what the hell am I ever going to use this for, when they try to teach you different kinds of maths? And I was more like, okay, they just want to make me remember something. I'll try to remember it and see how it goes. And I was like slightly above average in math back then. Then I became a tailor, decided I wanted to be a tailor. And if you want to do pattern grading, you have to understand algebra, because you use algebra on all the measurements to be able to do the patterns for the clothes. And then all of a sudden it just made sense, because instead of X's and Y's, you were working with widths, like chest width or hip width or something like that. And that made total sense to me. So it's always a matter about context, I think. Everyone can get to like a certain level of math. Not everybody has to be a genius. Well, let's just say in tailoring, when you have female customers, you do talk a lot about bras, whether you're going to wear them or not, because the height your chest is at and where your chest width is pretty much depend what bra you're wearing, or if you're wearing any. So not a totally irrelevant punny comment there. I was lucky when I was training as a tailor, because my teacher, she was very old school, so it was a bit like old school, having a master and then being taught. I mean, she could like spot from across the room if you did one stitch crooked, and then you had to redo everything. So some people really didn't like her, because you had to really learn the techniques if you wanted her respect. But I really liked it, because you were very clear on when you were right and when you were wrong, because there are right and wrong when you're working with fabric. That was awesome. But we were lucky, because she managed to get us the current Prime Minister's wife as a customer that we got to work for. So we had her as a customer, and she was like a big lady with some interesting measurements, actually. I mean, everybody can learn how to sew for a skinny person, but the real challenge as a tailor, if you have someone who is handicapped or have a hunchback, or is like the ratio of the measurements is unexpected, because you really have to go in and work with it. That's interesting. Oh, but one thing you know from tailoring, Lux, is that that we don't really talk about whether people are we don't say fat, we talk about shapes, because you can be a larger or smaller size, but you will still fall in certain shapes. You'll either be a square, slightly angular person, you will be like an X-shaped person with really tiny waistline, or you will be an O-shaped person where your waistline is larger than your chest line and your hip line. So there's like these different areas you work with. God, I kill myself a lot. It's a good thing I have money for repairs. That's what's happening when you're talking about something totally unrelated, trying to work two parts of the brain at the same time. So, but tailoring is fun. It's one of the things where the reason I'm all tips at the moment is going towards getting a better camera is because I would like to do a setup so I could do some real tailoring on stream and do some teaching there as well, because I miss tailoring and it's a lot of fun for me, and I know there's a lot of people out there who would like to get some tips and tricks to do some stuff on their own. And again, it really isn't that hard. There's like some base rules, and when you learn the base rules, it's from there on it's just practice. And then you work with the lines of the clothes and different kinds of fabrics, whether it's patterned or striped, and then you use that to kind of compensate for the shape the person don't want to have and trying to make it look like more the shape a person wants to have. And that's very different from person to person. Some people, they're like, oh, I want my butt to look as big as possible because that's kind of what I see as beautiful, and others are like, can you please make my boobs go away? And then you do your best with what you kind of have to work towards the desired shape. So yeah, I can talk about that for a long time too. Well, I did do a lot of reconstruction of clothes back when I worked as a tailor. A lot of what we did were like changes, you know. You have like a favorite pair of pants, and then you either gain or lose a couple of pounds, and you still want to wear the pants, and then we sew them in or sew them out, or you know, shortening legs, whatever. You sure it's not because you just wiggle your butt too much, Welshie? Your hyperactivity level sometimes. I mean, a lot of people has like a weird body image because they kind of base their body image as to whether or not they fit into fashion. And honestly, 90% of people don't fit into fashion. It's like made for 10% with a certain shape. So, so if you don't fit into fashion clothes, don't feel bad about that. It's all made for like a size 0 with a fake little stomach pad put on and then mesh it up. So, oh, you should wiggle your butt for her, Welshie. If she's a pretty girl, she might enjoy that. Nah, it's not Diablo, that's too hardcore. It's me that's simply not concentrated. This is like my farm level at the moment, so if I want some real challenge, I'm going to Torment 8 because that's where I'm going to get killed all the time at the moment. This is more like talking and forgetting to keep the skill active. I need to keep active, so it's a fail on my part. Imagine my character sometimes is like, oh, come on, play me better. Nah, you're charming enough, fellow Welshie. Why should you call security? Well, yeah, if you don't fancy her, there's no need to try to impress her. That's kind of the thing. I mean, unless you're one of the people who just want to, like, impress everybody. I know that's a thing for someone. But honestly, it does seem a bit like a waste of time sometimes. I mean, I'm so happy I'm in a good relationship because that entire thing about figuring out stuff and dating, and that is not my strong suit. I want to stick with the model I've already got. I'm pretty sure that's only one of him. I actually think one of the cool things about tailoring was the fact that people who didn't think they were pretty because they didn't fit into fashion and stuff like that, they could suddenly find out that they were pretty. They were okay pretty, if only they kind of thought about their body shapes. So. Okay, closing in on. I think I'm actually going to finish this second rift here, so that's 2 in an hour. That's okay. Compared to my amount of time, that's pretty well done. So I have no idea what I'm playing or doing next Friday. It might be some Game Maker because I'm kind of feeling the urge to mess around with some coding. And we still have, like, I still have the file of the platform game we started working on when I did that. So it would be funny to go into that one and try to do some more on that. Add some more functions, maybe different kinds of enemies. Worst thing about having so many different interests is trying to find time for everything. So so what I do on stream may at times seem pretty random, but if you kind of follow me for a longer period, you'll find out that I tend to circle back to the things I've been through before. So, oh, 1 second, I have a phone call. Hi. Hello, sir. There we go, I'm back. Yeah, the Danish was muted because you never know who's calling and whether what you're talking about will be personal or not. So, so phone calls will be muted. Oh, that's an evil one, this one. Wonder why he is so much tougher. I mean, I've got my toughness up and everything. Yeah, I forgot to unmute. So just talking and trying to read chat and killing this dude who is slightly tougher than the other Rift Guardians I got. He's like kind of a measure on how close I am to going to next Torment level, because when I can take him down a bit easier, I'm going straight to Torment 8. Right now I'm gonna have to do a little bit of kiting here to get my health back up. Ugh, dead again. Okay, I'm gonna need to revive in town and repair my gear, I can see. So, going yellow. There we go. Repair, back. Let's kill that dude. There he is. Let's get all the skills up and running. Kiting, he's almost down. Let's grab some health. And see if we can stun him just for a little bit so I can have my skills there. Okay. There we go. Let's get some more toughness up. Blind him. And there he goes. Ooh, an amulet. That's always interesting. That could be anything, except that I can see it's a set amulet. So if I'm lucky, that might be a better version of the one I'm wearing. That would be pretty nifty. And let's go back. Someone wrote about what? Are you using Click Team Fusion? I don't know what Click Team Fusion is, so probably not, no. I'm just playing around with Game Maker. It's like something I've been playing around with since they had the first version out. I like it because you're not kind of tied up to any different style of game, so you can do adventure games, RPGs, third-person shooters. You can do whatever you want, so I kind of like that. Oh yeah, so it's another, yeah. And I like using Game Maker because besides all the drag and drop functions you've got, you can still go in and you can do the actual coding so that you get as elegant a code as possible. So I haven't really tried a lot of others because I kind of, it's like with Diablo and Eve, when I like something I tend to stick with it and try to get better at it, so kind of get to a certain proficiency level. But I like it because you can kind of there's like a free version for people who just want to start out, and you don't have to buy any of the add-ons if you're just making games for yourself or your friends or something like that. You can just use the Game Maker player. Plus there's like the section of Steam where you can, there's the workshop in there where you can publish your games. So yeah. Well, that one and that's what we're working on there, except I got a Crusader weapon. I really don't need a Crusader weapon. That would require me to play a Crusader. So not a monk. There we are. Get rid of all the crafting items. There we go. Oh, once again, wrong page. I've got so much crap lying around on all my characters. Let's see, that one up there. And let's just identify and see what I got. Traveler's Pledge. This is actually pretty nifty if I get the ring to match as well. It's like a set where when you have both of them, you'll get damage reduction by 50% while you're moving, and when you're standing still, you'll increase your damage to 100%. That way I could avoid damage while collecting mobs and then give extra damage when I have a big nice group. Oh, that's impressive, Red. That's impressive. Wow. I'm like, I think the oldest person in my family was one of my great-grandparents who became 92 or 93 or something like that. I'm already one parent down, so I have so much weird gear. Oh, let's put that one there, and let's just destroy that one. I'm not going to use a Crusader anyway. Oh yeah, do that, Zazu. I'm like, I really wish my grandparents has gotten older, but like I lost both my maternal granddad and my what's that called? Fraternal? My dad's mom back before, while I was still a teenager. So I mean, I lost my last grandparent. That must be like 14 years ago now. Hi, Nat. Oh, you just came on, and I'm just about to stop for the day. Ah, shucks. So, what did you do? What happened to your hand, Nat? Oh, oh, a fracture. Yeah. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. Yeah, just do what the doctor tells you and keep on the splint for as long as it's needed, and then make sure you do whatever exercises you have to afterwards to make sure you don't lose anything there. Well, that was 3 hours, pretty precisely. So I need to stop for the day. Which is always a little bit annoying because my head wants to play more games that my body will allow. But that's just how that is. So I'll be back again Monday evening, Central European time. As always, looking forward to see as many people who have the time and chat. And I always understand if you have to be somewhere else. That's happening to all of us from time to time. So let's close down the game here. Oh, you know, Binky, you're welcome to lurking, and it's partly my fault for choosing a stream time where a lot of people is going to be on work as well, you know. That's the thing, but it kind of fit into my schedule, so there's that. Yeah, thank you for being here, for hanging out, for being awesome as always. It's been a pleasure, and bye.